Today, we are diving deep into an absolutely epic story, the story of David and his mighty men. It's this incredible tale of leadership, of insane loyalty, and the legendary warriors who helped a king literally forge a nation. And it really makes you wonder, right? Is a leader's real power found in their own strength, or is it in the kind of loyalty they can inspire in other people? Let's get into it. So, you might think David's journey to becoming king over all of Israel would start with some huge, bloody conquest. But that's not how it happened. It actually begins with a call, an invitation from his own people who were just desperate for a leader they could finally unite behind. And this is the heart of it right here. All the tribes of Israel, they come to David and they say, "We are your own flesh and blood." Now, you gotta understand, this isn't just some political speech. It is deeply personal. What they're really saying is, you're one of us. You get us. You've led us in battle before, even when someone else was wearing the crown. Okay, so how does this actually go down? Well, it basically happens in three really clear steps. First, you've got the people's plea. Everyone's on the same page. Then, step two, they bring up this divine promise, this idea that God had already chosen David to be their shepherd, their ruler. And finally, you get the official part. The elders make a pact, a sacred covenant, and they anoint him king. It's this perfect storm of popular support, spiritual destiny, and political legitimacy, all rolled into one. All right, so David's got the crown, but now a king needs a capital. He sets his sights on this super strategic, heavily fortified city called Jebus, which, we now know as Jerusalem. But the people living there, the Jebusites, they were, well, let's just say they were pretty cocky about their defenses. I mean, can you believe it? This was their actual message to the new king, a flat-out taunt. They were so sure their fortress was impenetrable that they basically just laughed at David's army from the gates. It was a huge, direct challenge to his new authority. And just like that, the taunt gets answered. You gotta love that word, nevertheless. Despite all the boasting, despite the high walls and the confidence, David took the fortress. It was this swift, decisive victory that immediately showed everyone, okay, this guy means business. And this one victory just creates this massive snowball effect. David immediately rebrands the fortress, making it his own, the City of David. He rewards the guy who led the charge, Joab, by making him commander-in-chief, which of course inspires some serious loyalty in his army. And as he builds up this new capital, the story says he becomes more and more powerful. That fortress became the very heart of his growing kingdom. But here's the thing. David didn't do this alone, not even close. His power wasn't just about him. It was built on the foundation of this absolutely elite group of soldiers. These were his mighty warriors, his chiefs and champions, the real backbone of his entire reign. So what made these guys so special? Well, it's crucial to know they weren't just mercenaries for hire. The text defines them as, like, partners in David's destiny. They gave his kingship strong support, specifically to help fulfill that divine promise of ruling the entire land. They were true believers in the cause. And oh man, among these warriors were guys whose deeds, they became the stuff of legend. We're going to look at just a few of their incredible stories because they show not just brute strength in battle, but this profound, almost unbelievable loyalty to their king. Okay, first up, Joshua. He's the chief of David's officers. And to really get a sense of his legend, you only need to know one single number. 300. Just let that sink in for a second. That's how many enemy soldiers he was up against. And in one single encounter, he raised his spear and killed all of them, all 300. I mean, that's not just a battle. That sounds like it's straight out of a myth. But strength isn't the whole story here. Loyalty. Loyalty is on another level. So check out this next scene. David's holed up in a stronghold, and the enemy Philistines are camped out in his old hometown, Bethlehem. And in this moment of just longing, he says this out loud, probably just thinking to himself, it was absolutely not in order. But his men heard him. And 3 of his warriors took this quiet, wistful comment as a call to action. They literally broke through the enemy lines, fought their way to the well, got the water, and then fought their way back out. The risk was just insane, all for a simple drink of water for their king. And this moment right here shows you exactly what kind of leader David was. When they bring him the water, he refuses to drink it. He asks, should I drink the blood of these men? He doesn't see water, he sees the life risk, the sacrifice his men just made for him. So he honors them by pouring it out as an offering to God.
It's this moment of incredible mutual respect. And then you get a warrior like Benaiah. I mean, this guy's resume is just staggering. He takes on two of Moab's greatest fighters and wins. He climbs down into a pit on a snowy day to kill a lion. And my personal favorite, he goes up against this Egyptian giant who's armed with this massive spear, while Benaiah just has a club. He snatches the spear right out of the giant's hand and kills him with his own weapon. These aren't just battles. They are straight-up epic tales of heroism.
So as we kind of zoom out from these incredible individual stories, we start to see the bigger picture emerge. These men were way more than just assets in a fight. They were the actual power propping up David's throne. Jashobi and Benaiah, the three guys to fetch the water, they were just a few of the ones we know by name. The source material actually lists dozens more, a whole roster of warriors who formed the bedrock of David's rule. Their collective strength, their shared belief, and their unwavering loyalty, that was the real engine of the kingdom. And that brings us right back to our final thought. The story of David and his mighty men, it's not just some ancient war chronicle. It's a timeless case study in leadership. It leaves us with that question we started with. What really defines a great leader? Is it their own personal strength? Or is it their ability to inspire a loyalty so deep that people will literally risk everything for them? The way this kingdom was forged suggests the real answer lies somewhere in that powerful space right in between the two.